Hello, lead generator, Jeremiah with JeremiahVega.com. Today I'm going to show you how we actually step by step generate leads when we run LinkedIn lead generation campaigns for our clients. If you're not familiar with who we are essentially a digital marketing agency and we specialize in lead generating and we run LinkedIn campaigns a lot of the times. And we are going to show you how we actually run those campaigns for our clients so you can be successful, the client can be successful, and we can grow together. As you guys can see, we are on a questionnaire form, which is a form that the client would need to fill out before we actually start running their LinkedIn campaigns. Okay, so we're going to actually use a live example on how we actually generate those leads. But I wanted to make sure that we went over the form. This is actually the form that they fill out, and it asks for all of the information that we need in order to start their campaign, like their basic information, first name, last name, email, phone number, business or personal brand name, and they could select their profession. Okay, once they fill out this page, they're going to click next, and it's going to go over a little bit more in detail about the information that we need, such as a little bit about their business, what industry that they want to target, what market that they want to target, what title as far as job titles they want to target, such as director of marketing, financial advisors, business owners, entrepreneurs, mortgage brokers, etc. It's going to ask all of the information as well as the LinkedIn username and password, so we can go ahead and log into their profile and begin the actual campaign process. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk a little bit more about what LinkedIn is so you can have it in perspective, even though I'm pretty sure that you probably know what LinkedIn is. So LinkedIn is the world's largest platform for professionals, and they have a network with hundreds of millions of members, and it is constantly growing rapidly. According to LinkedIn, their mission statement is to connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. Build and maintain your professional network. So essentially what they do is they are a platform, like a social media platform, but for professionals, okay? And this is effective for several professionals, from real estate investors to college professors to B2B, such as digital marketing agencies, mortgage brokers, realtors, attorneys, etc. Okay, so they connect everyone for the most part, and it's one of the largest platform for what it does, and it is the largest platform, excuse me. Now we got that out of the way, let's go over lead generating, because like I told you before, we are going to be lead generating primarily as a service, and this is what we are training you to do right now. So what is lead generating exactly? Lead generating is a process used to target people who will likely find value from your product or service. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's head over to LinkedIn and get started as far as the process on how we actually go about generating leads for our clients using a live example. Okay, so this is our client Kyle. He is in the industry for digital marketing, and he's looking to generate leads, and he's going to be targeting mortgage brokers. He created a profile for us, a brand new profile, and we are going to be using this profile to build it up, to build awareness, to generate leads for him, in which we will target mortgage brokers. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. We already know who we want. He was really specific as far as what he asked for. So now we're going to actually go about producing that lead, or those leads, I might add. So once we get the information to log into their account, and that will be with that you would get that information from the questionnaire form that they filled out. The first thing that we're always going to check is the network. So how many connections are in their network? The reason why we want to do that every day is because that helps us keep track of the progress, because we are going to be sending invites, inviting people into the client's network, so we could target those people once they're in their network. Once they're in our network, we're going to simply send out messages, connect with them, engage with them, so we can schedule meetings, appointments, and generate leads that way. So we want to make sure our target audience is in our network. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to go over to My Network right up at the top. It's going to be the second button right next to the Home button. Then we're going to click on My Network. This is a new profile that he created. So as you can see right now, he has currently 2 connections, okay? So we can go ahead. I'll leave that. I didn't touch that. I'm not going to touch that because this was before we started, so I'm not going to accept this yet. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I would type in 2 connections. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the amount of connections that he has, and we're going to enter them in a spreadsheet. So we're going to go over to the spreadsheet, and you'll have access to this information. You're going to put it into the spreadsheet, and you're going to type in 2 because that's how many he had. 2, and then you're going to put today's date, which we will be starting this campaign on. And it's going to be August. Today is August the 1st, 2018. So we're going to type that. Let me erase this here. This was already on here. So let's erase this. And let's erase this number. Okay. Now, when we first start on the campaign, the first day, we obviously are not going to have any connections that are accepted because we just started. But the next day or the next time we go to start on their campaign, the first thing that we're always going to do, remember what I said, is we're going to check the connections. The next day we're going to check the connections, and we're going to put it in here. We're going to put it in the box. Say for example we sent out 100 connections and 30 people accepted it. So we're going to just simply type in 30 connections. And then what's going to happen is it's going to say 30 connections accepted so far. And then let's say the next day after that, it's going to be, let's say 50 people connected or accepted the connections request. So now it's kind of doing the math for us, telling us how many people accepted the connections. And this is going to allow us to keep us in track, so we can make sure that we're sending enough just for us to keep track of how many people are accepting, how many connection requests are we sending out, because each plan is different. You know, you have your 1,000, you have your 1,000 connections, you have your 500 connections, you have your 200 connection requests that we're going to send out. So this spreadsheet keeps us on track of everything. All right. Each time someone responds to any messages that we have, we're going to definitely keep track of it. Okay. So now that we got that out of the way, I kind of went over what we're going to do as far as tracking the amount of connections in the client's network. The next thing that I want to go over really quickly, if we are going to be using this spreadsheet that I'm showing you guys right now, you'll be able to go to the bottom and you're going to click copy of daily check-in. This is where you put all of your notes. So this is for the client and for us to see. Okay. This lets us know if somebody was working on this account before us. It keeps track of everything. So each time we log in, you want to have any notes, you have any questions, you want to keep status on what's going on, keep the communication going between you, the client, and everybody else. This is what you can do within that form. Okay. The next thing that we are going to talk about is actually filling out the information. We're going to be filling out the information using LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Okay, this is all of the information that the client filled out with their questionnaire, letting us know who they want to target. So what we want to do is we want to go over to Sales Navigator, and then keep in mind when you are starting a account for the first time, when you're using someone's Sales Navigator for the first time, it's going to ask you for different information. Like it's going to ask you different information to kind of put it at default. So you're just going to basically, I can't really show you that, but if you have any questions, please let me know. All you're going to be doing is just basing it off of the questionnaire form. They're going to ask you a bunch of questions as far as who you want to target, just so they can start getting you going. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If you have any questions, let me know. But this is what it looks like when you log into Sales Navigator. Once you get out, once you get through the overview of Sales Navigator, I guess you can say. What you're gonna do is you want to go over to Advanced. You want to click Search for Leads. Okay. Once you go over to search for leads, you're going to type in the information that the relevant information that the client has filled out for us, so we can target their demographic. So, give me 1 second. Let me see. All right, so the basic thing that they typically put in, the basics, we're going to put in the geography, which is the location. Sometimes it may be local for the client, sometimes it may be national. In this case, it's going to be national, or it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be national. We're in the United States. The client wants to target people in the United States, so we simply are going to put in the United States. Another thing that's really important for us to make sure that we put in, because we don't have to fill out all of this, just relevant stuff, is the industry. Okay, now let me see. You don't always have to put in the industry, but that is pretty important if you really want to be specific. All right, so let's say because he's targeting mortgage brokers, so we're just going to put in real estate and see how many results come up. I try to look for between 800 and 10,000 are good numbers. Okay, as you can see, it has over 2 million results that's coming up based off of the information that I put in so far. We want to narrow that down. And you can also put in a postal zip code, but we're not going to worry about that right now. Next thing that we're going to put in is the title, job titles. So the client will tell you what title that what is the name of the title of the person that they want to pursue, the decision maker, I guess you can say as well. He said founders and CEOs, but because I know that he wants to target people that are mortgage brokers, I'm going to start with mortgage brokers because that is a title as well. All right, as you can see, only 6 results came up. That's not a lot. So I may have spelled it wrong. So let me go ahead and correct it. Let me pause this and correct it. All right. It looks like it's frozen, but as you can see right now, if you guys can still see it right now, 2,916 results came out just off of me putting in those 3 things. So one thing that we can do is we can be a little bit more specific, and we can go by the company size that they want to target. He said that he wanted to target people between 1 to 10, 11 to 50, 50 to 200, and 200 to 500. So fairly small businesses that he want to target. And he wants to target founders. By the way, I would pull it up. I will pull up the questionnaire form, but I don't want to disclose any information because I don't know who else is going to see this video. So I'm just going to go by my memory, and if I have to pause the video to look at it, I will, but I'm not going to pull it up. All right, so look, based off mortgage broker and founders, 13,000, a little bit over 13,000 results came up. Okay. Now, what we can do this is enough. This is enough for us to work with. This information just off. We typed in mortgage broker, we got about 2,000. We typed in founders, we got about and that added on to the 2,000. We got a good amount doing that, targeting the real estate industry, right? So that's a good amount. We'll keep that. We don't need any other additional information as of right now. So we're going to simply we're going to type in search. We're going to wait for the results to come up. And then what we will do is we'll go to save search. The reason why you want to go to save search is because you don't want to have to fill out all of that information again. So say for example, LinkedIn Sales Navigator allows you to actually save multiple different lists. Okay, you can save different lists. Say for example, you may want to target for the client. The client may want to target real estate investors one day, and then the next day he may want to target attorneys or something like that. You are able to save different lists when it comes to those profile filters, so you won't have to fill that profile filter more than once if you want to go dibble and dabble, if you want to go use the same list again. So I'll go over to save search under leads, and then I already did this list, but just as an example, I'm going to put in, this is a little bit more results from the first one that I did as a practice. So let's just say, let's call this one additional. Well, let's type it add-on mortgage broker list. Alright, so now we can always refer back to it. If we go to save searches, we can always refer to that list and we won't have to put that information again. Alright, and then you can always save people as leads. So if you're noticing that someone is responding to the client based on the messages that we're going to be sending them, which I'm going to probably talk about in another video, you can save them as a lead, and then you can always go back to them if you go to select leads. But we're going to actually, anytime someone responds to the client, we're going to create another spreadsheet. You're going to create another spreadsheet using Google Docs, and you're going to put it into a spreadsheet. You're going to put it in a spreadsheet, and then we're going to give that to the client. All right, so they can follow up on them and close the deal, increase the chances of them closing the deals. So now that we got that out of the way, I talked about how to actually prospect. So that's our process. This video is about how to prospect. How we do the outreach and how we generate the leads is going to be in another video. So hopefully you understand so far.